The aim of the course is really to give the Ukrainian crews the best amount of knowledge we can within the restricted amount of time we've got, noting that they need to get back to start fighting again. And it's designed to give them a firm foundation in how to fight the tank and how to live off the tank as well. So we've done 4 separate courses, similar to that which we do in the UK, courses for the commander, the gunner, the driver and the operator. And at the end of the sort of the technical training, so learning which button does what and how to make the gun fire, we'll do a consolidation package which will allow them to work together as a crew for the first time, fire the tank on ranges, and then they'll return to the Ukraine to marry up with the vehicles that the British government is giving them.
MPI, mean point of impact, is when we're firing at our coax.
I can't think of another time where we've given tanks to an ally, but nor can I think of another time when an ally or a friend anyway needs tanks as much as Ukraine does.
So the purpose of a tank is to predominantly fight other tanks, and so the Ukrainians, when they return to their country, will be using this tank behind me to kill other Russian tanks, and it's very effective at what it does.
I mean, they've clearly been fighting. You can see when they come through and their demeanour and sort of thing, and that they've come from somewhere that's, yeah, where it's the real deal. You can tell that they're very aware that they're taking this to go and use it, and that's really driving their efforts and their ethics. Their motivation is obvious, and particularly you can see how the fact they're constantly thinking about how they're going to be using this thing for real, which they are. So, yeah, pretty inspiring. Yeah, so these are the commanders mainly coming down doing their training. So going through their modules, they've got the 4 different crew positions going through. So the drivers are up at our driver training facility up at Bovington, and the rest of them are here. So the loaders, the gunners and the commanders are all here, and they are being streamed with their instructors in their various different roles abilities. So some of them are actually on the tanks and learning about the different positions, and the instructors are out with their pointers and teaching the different names and components and parts and going through. As you imagine, that takes some time. Some of them are on the turret simulators, and some of them are going up into they've got the different guns broken down into various states and components there in the various different buildings there, so they can get a good idea of the mechanics and how the kit works, basically.
And check. Good, very well done.
Not only is it a language barrier from English to Ukraine, there's also a technical language, and some of the kit doesn't have a Ukrainian equivalent. And it's making sure that the instructor, the translators, have all got the same translation. Because so it's making sure we'll sit down every day and be like, right, this is what this is. Make sure we clarify that.
Okay, any questions? No.
I will help them.
Yeah.
And they're getting more up to speed. So their English to Ukrainian is fantastic. It's them basically learning how to teach as well. So it's not just the teacher teaching. Obviously, the translators also having to teach. So as everyone's gelling together more, the interpreters are kind of getting more. They're almost getting qualified at the same time.
Look at this. What do you see? It's a diamond from tank world. It's a really diamond. Look at this baby. It's burst. You know, I think this is the really best tank on the world.
Yes, so obviously we are training the Ukrainian drivers. So it's a 3-week course for them themselves. Obviously normal drivers will take about a month. But obviously we're going through the process of how to guide the vehicle on the ground. But also we do maintenance, so like at the moment we're changing sprockets, obviously due to wear and tear. But it's a good thing for them, so if that does happen, they've got a way to do it, knowledge of how to do it in the field. And then drive the vehicle with a commander up top around on the roads, all over the circuit that we have here, and also cross country to obviously aid them driving over the different types of terrain, so through low ground, over mounds, and also high speed reverse types of stuff. So if they get in contact, they can reverse back safely while the gun will be simulated with firing at the enemy target.
camera and you did a really bad turn. That's better. And we're going to talk about when we go over bumps. So do you know when you approach a set of like rolling little hills? So a more experienced driver will apply a steer into them. So as you come over the hill, you steer into it and steer out of it. Because as you steer, one of the sprockets will speed up. And one track will be slightly looser, one track will go a lot tighter.
The only other thing I would say, only because they were
Okay, so as you can see then, it's yellow, which denotes it's got high explosive content inside it. Yeah, so inside the round there is high explosive content. And then hence the name of the squash head. It's got an inner putty at the top of the round.
Yeah, when they get in the simulators from next week, you'll see why you need that trace to be able to make your adjustments. It actually, you're using the control handle, you're making adjustments to the computer, to the tank, to allow it to hit. You kind of really need to see.
So we're progressing from essentially UK commander on Ukrainian driver to Ukrainian commander onto Ukrainian driver. And then we're going to step it up to having them closed down, so limited visibility, and then moving through progressive training. And then we're going to do some confirmation exercises maybe tomorrow or the next day. Whenever you're ready, go. Yeah, you're clear.
The experiences definitely differ. On the one hand, you've got some quite experienced tank commanders, and a number of those were awarded medals by President Zelensky when he was visiting the other day, and then ranging from people who've never been on a tank before at all. So it's our job to sort of like judge our training, judge the speed of our training to ensure that we're catering for those with a lot of experience and those who've got no experience. But be under no illusions, a number of the commanders certainly have been fighting for quite some considerable time. They are really sort of operationally and combat experienced, and as I said before, they're really, really keen to learn how to use the tank so that they can get back and start fighting the Russians.
Because no trees, no places to hide. We were trying to go as quick as we can, but their tanks, the same, shoot us. It was pretty close to us, and a fragment sliced my hand. And the doctor that was wiring me said that it was very accurate work, because 1 millimeter right, it won't touch you at all. 1 millimeter left, and your head would be broken. So he just sliced the skin and didn't touch bones, so it was pretty accurate.
You're a lucky boy.
Yeah.
So this facility here is the PGTE, so this is all basically the home of all the turret simulators. So before our students go and operate a tank for real, we try and get as much time in a safe environment and a far less expensive environment, which is in these simulator turrets. So if we come through here, I'll show you through to one of these simulator turrets. This is the one that we had the Prime Minister and President Zelensky on yesterday. So this is this simulates the inside, the loading procedure of a tank. So inside there is a mock-up of the inside of the turret, so the students can get used to loading the ammunition and the right process of going through for their drills, for going and loading on there. It's a pretty impressive bit of kit actually, when it goes in there and sputs out there, and it uses pneumatics and various other bits, so when it goes bang, bang, you know, it fires the rounds out and they get used to the recycling process and going through here. And it's, yeah, really fundamental bit of kit for their tank training.
Everybody in a position where they can see? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through another serial. Okay, I'm going to talk you through the drills. Okay, so when I say so, I'd like you to do it.
Значить, що ми зараз будемо робити? Ми зараз подаємо знову повністю всю послідовність дій, і що хоче інструктор, щоб робив той, хто зараз на місці заряджає,
Okay.
що інструктор дає команду, він повторює.
So for the first time through, I'll guide you through it. I'll tell you what to do.
Перший раз буде інструктор розказувати, що конкретно робити.
The second time through, we'll let you go on your own. See how far you can
А
get.
другий раз тоді буде вже сам командир.
Clear? Is that clear, yeah?
Чист?
Target stop.
Зупиняємо роботу по цілі.
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
Третю годину.
Okay, from there, you then come around and remove the magazine.
Після того ви обходите і дістаєте магазин.
Okay, pretty good. All right, that was actually very good. All right, just remember the sequence of.
Тільки послідовність.
Yeah. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to replenish the ammunition.
Зараз ми заберемо на
Okay, so if you have one person in there,
одна людина туди залазить.
and then we need to make a line.
So this will be inside with the loaders, so they're likely to be stood sort of here-ish, and you'll have the main armament here, and the coax machine gun will be in front of the loaders, so it's all the way in the turret itself.
That's the gun?
Yeah. Well done. Firing!
Зброя готова. Заряджена.
Loaded. Awesome. Well done. Okay, very well done. Good drills. Just a few things we need to neaten up on, but we'll get there with practice. We'll keep putting a few more people through. So just again, remember, when we assemble the weapon system, we need to ensure we crank it ourselves manually to make sure it's working correctly. And also, probably the biggest thing is when we go back into the gun, we must always ensure that the safety switch is set to safe. So far this morning, we've looked at loading the weapon system, and the guys have looked at putting ammunition on the weapon system, and so far we're kind of halfway through the stoppages we'd be conducting on the weapon system. Okay, so far we've looked at how to fire it, and then what we're going to look at now is how to remedy the weapon system if it doesn't fire correctly. And this is going to look at things like if the electrics aren't working and if the mechanism itself isn't working, it isn't firing correctly. And what we're going to do is we'll look at that after the break, so they're halfway through, and we'll finish the other half after the break.
Alright, so this is welcome to the gunnery simulator room. So there's no students in here at the moment. So whereas before that was the loading trainer, this is the gunnery trainer. So within the tank you've got your 4 roles, you've got your driver, your loader, your gunner and your commander. So this simulates the gunner and his seat within the tank and what he would see and how he'd operate when it comes to the fight. So what does that involve for him in this scenario? So he's got his viewfinder as he would do in the tank, and he's got the same control panel that would mirror the same control panel he has when he's in the tank there. So what does this allow him to practice? Identifying targets, how to bring the weapon to bear onto the target and fire effectively. The graphics are slightly clunky, it's slightly old bit of kit, but in terms of the mechanisms of the control and the handing over the control, it's exactly the same.
63. Okay, so he's a pass. Good. Good. Yeah, they're doing good. It's just getting used to the controls. It takes a few and learning curves.
I'm doing my best to keep myself as I was before, to be able to be normal civilian after the war will finished. But yeah, all of these people will came back as completely another people. When you on the battleground, and you remind or recall your in the past, maybe half years ago, or only a couple of months, you understand that you are completely another person now. Everything, not everything, but a lot of things inside you have been changed.
Кіточку треба зняти.
Будь ласка, сідає, проходимо і сідаємо.
That's me.
Yeah.
Що ви тут робите?
Я не знаю.
That pretty much covers the inside here. We've got the turret simulator. It's the last one. So before, if you imagine, we've done kind of the different modules there. So we had the loading drill and we had the gunner in there together. This is a kind of more of a combination of the two here. So this is the turret on top. As it says on the case, as it says on the tin there, you've got the turret on top there. So this is the gunner or the commander up here practicing how he'd see, what kind of information stimulus that he would actually see and feel, and him practicing his role. And that's the sort of the three constituent parts coming together to form what would otherwise be a whole tank.
The commanders and the gunners have now come together in their orbit. So we're training as a gunner and commander pair. And we have done through for the past week and a half. Yeah, it's just getting used to working together. Cool, because yesterday we wasted too much time on that one coax target. Yeah, and remember, gunners, target stop. As soon as you've engaged that target and destroyed it, the commander's more than likely going to be waiting to put you on a new one. Yeah, so let's work on the speed of the engagements. But keeping the accuracy as well. Okay, so you're going to go first with Babashkin. So this crew's probably one of the better ones. And the commander is he gets very excited when his gunner does something wrong. So when he gets the feedback from this shoot, he's not going to be happy. Yeah, it's only just started. All right, where's the commander? How do you think that went?
Як ти думаєш, пройшло?
Не дуже. Ну, лучше, чем вчера последний.
Better than last time yesterday.
С пулеметом трошки лучше.
It's better with the
Потому что
car.
вчера пулемет вообще неплохо.
Yeah. Okay, so straight away, I heard the commander. Stop looking. The commander split the arcs down, yeah?
Саме перше, що він почув, що командир розподілив сектори обстрілу.
Yeah, and then straight away both of you went to the extremities of the arc.
І далі ви двоє пішли в самі крайні точки цих ваших секторів вогню.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a mixture of bad timing and bad luck, all right, but as you both traversed left and right, the targets came up to the front.
Але це просто так совпало погано співпадіння, що коли ви зразу взяли крайні точки секторів, а ваші мішені були по центру.
Yeah, so as you're looking over there, they came up and then eventually you saw them, but you only had time to engage. Well, you engaged them both, but as you were engaging the coax, it went down. Yeah? Yeah, I'll tell you that at the end. All right. But from there, okay, you sort of, I don't know what happened. So you started off a bit ropey, and then you went back to your normal self.
Але з цього моменту все змінилося кардинально, тобто трошки почали так невпевнено і погано, а потім вернулися в форму і почали робити все правильно.
Yeah, so on the withdrawal serial, both targets engaged and destroyed. That's good, Dobra. Okay, and then on the next serial, 2 targets engaged and destroyed. That's really good. Then you engage a tank target, a moving tank target, and 2 coax targets.
Далі ви уразили ціль рухомий танк, просто танк, рухомий танк і ціль з кулемета.
Yeah, it was a really good serial. You engaged all of that.
Це дуже добре було, ви всі ці цілі уразили протягом 45 секунд.
Every one of us know where we will go later, and like we do not have such feelings that I would like to stay here more. I'm not going. I do not want to go there. Everybody is ready to go there, but just we wanna learn as much as we can to be ready as much as it's possible.
Today, we mark the anniversary of Putin's disgraceful act of war against Ukraine, sovereign country. We'll now hold a minute's silence for all civilian and military casualties. We will remember them.
Yeah, but it's not really different. Is it 24, 23, February, January, or any other month or date? Because like our guys dying there every day, and Russian launch a lot of rockets to the Ukraine every day, so no big difference.
Challenger 2 has got a unique blend of protection, mobility and firepower. All of those three combined are what makes a really high quality tank, and Challenger 2 absolutely has all of those things, significantly better than the vast majority of the Russian tanks that it will be facing.
Now it's sense of my life. We fight with Russians all our history. Russians occupied my country all history. The Russian Empire, Soviet Union, and now, and all our history, we fight with Russians. So I think this is sense of my life now, and now I'm here to teach my guys how we can kick up Russia from our country.
So last week of driver training, and then next week obviously confirmation where the commanders and the drivers and the operators all come together, do a range package and also manoeuvres on their own with safety staff following them around with bulldogs. Tell him to put his head down for a minute while we trap the gun. Go to Redfield.
My hope is that we've equipped them to use the tank to the very best effect and repel the Russians from Ukraine.
Privileged to be part of this whole process. The instructors have worked incredibly hard to massage a program that would take months into 1 month. And here we are 1 month after these guys have shown up, and they're doing fire and manoeuvre exercises down the range here at Lulworth.
Alright guys, so you're going to be firing next, alright? I'm going to take the commander and the gunner, and you guys are going to mount on 5-0.
So we're in the trailer at the moment where we can watch the shoots from the sights within the vehicles, and we can monitor the targets themselves to see whether they've been hit or not.
Then we're just going to lay this on here.
On day one of line firing with the Ukrainians, so we've got through a number of shoots this morning, which is going good so far. A few little hiccups here and there, but we're getting there nice and easily.
And I've been sitting in the tower and the trailer watching the engagements, and they are really, really good.
I fight for my family, for my lands, for my friends, for my future, for future of my country, for future of my family. And now, when Russia occupied our country, we will fight. We will fight, yeah. That's all.
Our support to Ukraine is unwavering and will continue for as long as Ukraine needs it. And in the short term to medium term, we hope that that will result in Ukrainian victory on the battlefield in Ukraine. But we then will need to continue to maintain a relationship with Ukraine to help re-equip it, to help prepare it defend itself, because I don't think the threat from Russia is going to diminish anytime soon.